Hello, besties. Let's hang out and talk about how we're going to be our best selves for the next year, and we're starting now. I want to share a little bit about my journey. So, this is going to be multiple videos. Today, I'm just going to be talking about health wise and my weight loss journey. And I've started now. You do not need to wait for the new year. You can wake up and change your life at any moment. Decide you want to change at any moment. You don't have to wait for, January 1st to start. Okay. So let's get into it. Bestie, I'm going to share a little bit of what I'm doing, and if it could inspire anybody or if anybody's in a similar journey and we want to talk about it, share each other's progress, hype each other up, that is amazing. So I'm going to talk about my weight loss and health journey. So I have right now lost about 5 pounds. Go me. Gotta celebrate every win, okay? And I am happy with that because before that, I was at my heaviest weight that I've ever been. I was at my heaviest weight that I've ever been. So I just need to get back to feeling and looking my best for me, but also just health wise. Part of the reason that I was at my heaviest was also because 2025 has been, I still have so much to be grateful for, but it has been a little bit of a difficult year, not just mentally, but physically, because I have had some health issues, even stemming from 2024. I had some health issues with my stomach and stuff, and then I had a meniscus tear this year, which definitely took a toll on me physically and also kind of mentally. And I was not able to work out as hard as I usually do. Even before then, I was definitely off my routine with working out. Ever since moving in with my partner, routines changed. It was not hard to adapt, but it was just a change. I had to change my lifestyle per se. So let's chat a little bit about what I am doing, not just for weight loss, but for health journey. Okay, because there's so much that's going on in this world that we can't control, but one thing we can is becoming our best self to the best of our ability. Okay, besties? Now, one of the biggest things that I'm doing is focusing on nutrition. Nutrition is such a big thing, and honestly, I'm not trying to stress myself out, so I don't look at every calorie and, macro to a T. I just kind of loosely gauge, and I do check the calories and everything because I want to decide if this is worth the calories to me. I am trying to kind of be between 15 to 1700 calories in a day. That is my calorie deficit, and I do need to lose weight quickly, and I'll go into that a little bit later in this video. This might be like a 2-part video. But I'm trying to kind of loosely count my calories. And one big thing that I am going to recommend that we can do, I've kind of already been doing this because I'm not a big soda drinker, is liquid calories. So many people consume a lot of calories via liquid and you wouldn't think it. Even just switching to a diet soda, I know that there's debates online on which is better, diet, regular soda, but when you look into it, regular soda has calories. If you're trying to lose weight, drinking your calories is not the way to go. At least a diet soda, if you're going to drink a soda, has 0 calories, 0 sugar, and I really try to avoid soda in general, but if I do feel like having a soda, I'll enjoy a diet soda. You just have to get used to the taste, bestie. Also, juices, they can have a lot of sugars, a lot of calories, so that's something to watch out for. Your coffees, your matchas. Every once in a while, I do splurge and get myself a matcha as a treat, but for the most part, I make my coffees at home, so I know the calories. I don't add any extra sugar, except sometimes I do add a little bit of cold foam, which only has 4 grams of sugar and 15 calories, so it's not terrible compared to getting a Starbucks or something coffee that's gonna have 300 or 400 calories, when that could be a meal that actually fills you up and nourishes your body. I'm really focusing on nourishing my body. I'm learning to love to cook for myself. When I cook, I just feel so grateful that I try to root it in gratitude, that I feel grateful that I get to nourish my body, especially with a healthy or somewhat healthy meal. I feel grateful that I get to nourish my body and replenish it and give it vitamins. I'm also been trying to up my, protein intake because I've been working out more. We're going to get to that part about the fitness. But as far as nutrition, low good calories, really not consuming any except daily coffee, which is around, it depends on if I do a protein coffee or not, but around like 100 calories. So every once in a while, I'll have my coffee. And that'll pretty much be the only liquid calories that I consume. Other than that, I have been meal prepping, usually on Mondays. I'll make a couple meals for the week. I'll make a quick and easy breakfast. I've even prepped snacks. I've been really big into chia pudding or overnight oats, and have a meal and like a lunch, like maybe like a soup. It's, getting to the colder months, so I do enjoy a nice little soup. And honestly, soups are really good, even for breakfast, because you can pack them with nutrients. It's nice, keeps you warm, all that. So, also, we're gonna be realistic. You don't always have the energy or time to cook. So one thing that I've been doing is that I recently started doing is, if I know I'm gonna have a busier week at work or anything, I get my meals from this meal prep service. And I know they have HelloFresh and all these big companies, but you can also look to people who do it locally to you. They might even be able to cater to certain requests of certain foods or veggies you don't like, and you can kind of question them more about the meals. And when you really look at it price wise, like each meal I get from the service is like $8 and some change. So I got like 4 meals. I got 4 meals and like 2 protein bars from them, and it was $44 for 4 meals and 2 protein bars. Bestie, you order Postmates or DoorDash once or twice, how much is that? Pretty much the same price, where you can get 4 meals. So that's actually what I did this week. I did get my dinners from them, and I got my protein bars as like a little dessert instead of having actual dessert, because one thing I do want to do is cut off artificial sugar as much as possible. But I got that, and I did prep my breakfast, which I just made blueberry pumpkin pancakes, and I prepped my snacks. So I did, and I made that very quickly, so I didn't have to spend a whole lot of time in the kitchen. One way you're gonna succeed in your health and fitness journey is by planning, because we're not gonna have the same energy levels all the time. We're not gonna have the same free time all the time. Sometimes you're going to be able to get a bunch of fresh fruits and veggies and wash it and chop it and prep it. Other times you might have to get the pre-cut stuff, or my favorite, frozen fruit. I love some good frozen fruit, let it defrost, put it in my yogurt bowls in the morning. That is my go-to, is frozen fruit, and it's cheaper and it's frozen when it's like the ripest. So you have to work around your schedule. Things are possible. If anything, my biggest tips and advice is, which is what I've been trying to do, cut out liquid calories, and we need to stop ordering out, especially fast food. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy a day at a restaurant every once in a while, but ordering fast food when we don't know, like, these people are cooking. I'm gonna get into spiritual in another video, but these people are making this food. It's made with all types of butters and preservatives that are a bunch of calories. If you really look at the calorie breakdown, even a salad from a fast food place can be up to 800 to 1,000 calories for a salad. And that is because the lettuce in these places are full of sugar, because that's how they preserve the lettuce. That is why Subway, like a Subway sandwich, has the same amount of sugar as a cake, because that's how they preserve the bread. So one thing we need to cut out especially is fast food. So that's my biggest thing. Every once in a while I might get a couple nuggets from Chick-fil-A. They're not too many calories. Throw it in a salad, do something like that. But I've really been trying to cut off all fast food and just have been focusing on cooking at home. I have different energy levels, especially for a woman. We don't have the same energy levels. We're on cycles. So plan around that, so that way planning is what's going to make you succeed, bestie. We need to plan. We need to plan based around our energy levels, our meals. You can still make a healthy, delicious meal or meal prep services if that's something that you're able to do, which $44 a couple meals, I would highly suggest looking into it. And the meal prep service that I get, it's not subscription, it's local, so definitely look into it. If you are on a busier schedule, it's going to cost you the same as ordering, if not less, Postmates all the time, and it's going to be better for you. They literally tell me the amount of protein, carbs, fat, everything that is in my meal, calories, and they're all lower calorie, high protein meals is what I'm focusing on, because obviously you need your protein. You need your protein if you're gonna, especially if you're working out. So that's what I'm focusing on nutrition wise, is prepping. I take about 2 hours if I'm gonna make my meals for the week, that day, to just prep. It's 2 hours of my day on a free day, and then you can do whatever you want. So I take about 2 hours to prep, and that is a quick breakfast, dinner, like a light lunch, like a super salad, and snacks. For dessert, I really just have like one of those protein bars, which again, people say like, oh, that's full of artificial stuff, and I do try to stay away from overly processed foods, but a tiny protein bar that is flavored like cheesecake but is low calorie and higher protein is better for me than eating a cheesecake that has the same calories as a meal and tons of sugar. So kind of gotta weigh your options, bestie, because I do like a sweet treat. So I've been like, it's okay to have this little cheesecake protein bar. And even with certain health foods, you gotta just gauge what's worth the calories, because nuts are healthy for you. You can have a handful of nuts, but they're a little bit higher calorie. And snacks, so you gotta gauge your snacks. Now let's get into the fitness. I've been trying to move my body in some way every day. You don't have to do every day. I don't go to the gym every day, but I try to move my body in some way, shape, or form. Why am I doing that? Well, just for my personal health. So I do try to do a gym split of either 4 or 5 days, depends how busy I am that week, where I target different body parts, chest, triceps, all that. And one thing, if you want to get your dream body, bestie, yes, Pilates, yoga, and all that stuff is really great for you. But if you want to get your dream body, you want to build muscle, you want to lose, fat, you gotta lift weights. I'm sorry to tell you, we have to lift weights. They don't even have to be heavy. You can do higher reps, lower weights, especially that's what I do for upper body. My lower body, I do higher weights. But you gotta lift weights, bestie. You gotta lift weights, and you gotta have a significant amount of protein. It's gonna help you lose weight if you are on a weight loss journey. I would definitely recommend looking into the amount of protein. So the way you're supposed to do it, you're supposed to look at the amount of protein for the weight you want to be. So look up how you calculate that. I've seen, people talk about it on TikTok and stuff. You're supposed to look up for the amount of protein for the weight you want to be. If you want to gain weight, you're going to have to eat more protein. If you want to lose weight, you got to eat the amount of protein for the weight that you want to be. Right now, I'm going to be so honest, I'm 174 pounds. I've lost 5 pounds. I want to be around a 130, 140 would be a sweet spot for me. So that is my goal weight, is around that. But I don't want to just lose weight. I want to build muscle. I really want to strengthen my core. My core has always been weak, but especially now it's weaker. So I want to strengthen my core. Besides just losing weight and health and stuff, I also want to increase my mobility. That's something we can all do, is focus on mobility and balance, because that's not something that a lot of people do. And that's where yoga and Pilates can definitely come in. It's going to help your mobility, it's going to help your balance for you to be able to go to the gym. Also, going to the gym and building muscle is going to help your posture. I know we all have bad posture from being on our phones all the time. So it's just gonna help. We need to get moving in some way, shape, or form. I would definitely suggest going to the gym and lifting weights, doing some form of weight training. And then the days that I don't go to the gym, I try to at least get a walk in, because some days we're not feeling it. Some days we're on our cycle and we're very low energy, but you can squeeze in a little 10-minute walk after a meal, which is also going to be good for your digestion, and it's just good for you to even get out in the daylight. We can squeeze in a walk for the day. You can go to a yoga class. If you're a person who has a hard time being committed, pay for a non-refundable yoga class, bestie, or workout class in general. You're going to be in that class. One of the things I do, I have class pass. If you don't want to pay for yoga classes all the time, it's cheaper to, at least for me in my area, to use class pass, because I can do 1 or 2 to 3 credits to get a class, and I pay about $20 a month on ClassPass subscription, where every yoga class for me would be about $20 or $30. So, and with the $20 a month on ClassPass, I get, I think, 20 or so, or 15 credits. So I could get a couple classes for $20. So look into ClassPass, and if that's a thing in your area. And it's not just for yoga. They have different, stuff that you can do on there, different workout classes. I've done boxing, I've done cycling, all that stuff. I do love a good yoga class. So that's something I'm focusing on is, fitness, moving my body every day, even if it's just working on your mobility. That's still something, mobility, stretching. I am not the most flexible, so that's another thing I want to do, is work on my mobility and flexibility. And with my meniscus tear, I am slowly but surely, actually I've done a pretty good process at gaining my mobility back, because it did kind of affect the mobility in my hips. So there is that. And let's get to the reason why I need to lose weight a little bit quicker. I've lost like 5 pounds in a week. I'm also taking a weight loss, well, not weight loss, but I'm using it for weight loss. I'm taking metformin. It's not the most recommended, but I got it from my doctor. It's what I'm doing. Normally, I did not want to take this route. I just wanted to do an unmedicated route. Reason why I'm doing metformin is because I need to lose weight quickly, because my job said that I need to. Because if you don't know, I am a midnight ballerina, and that's just part of the job, is your looks, and that's something you have to deal with. I know people can say that's a little, whatever. I took it as a sign. Yeah, I didn't like hearing it, but I took it as a sign that this is what I need to push me into my transformation. So I am taking weight loss medication, and that is a route that you can go through. That's something you need to talk to your doctor about. I'm not here to recommend any medication to anybody. One thing I would like to say with that, though, is that if you're on certain medications, once you stop taking it, you can gain weight. So you can't just rely on medication, especially weight loss. They will tell you, especially if you're a woman, you will lose muscle. You need to still eat healthy, because we're not just focusing on weight loss, bestie. We're focusing on being our best selves. And that means eating good so that we feel good, so that we have energy, so that our skin looks good. So we need to do our best. So you need to focus on eating good, but also protein and lifting weights. So that's something to remember if you want to go on one of these weight loss programs, and it's something to discuss with your doctor if that is the right approach for you. And for some people it is, because it helps quiet food noise, cravings, all that. I've had some struggle and some stomach issues with metformin. I'm on the extended release, though. After a couple of days of taking it, I feel fine, though. So I'm just taking it because I need to lose weight a little bit quicker. And obviously, weight loss is a longer process. So that is my current journey, bestie. I just wanted to share on here how I am trying to move forward in my life, because I want to, look my best. and just be my best self, spiritually, physically, mentally, financially. And we're going to get to all those topics on my channel on what I am doing, and we can talk about it. We can share tips with each other, all that. But we need to focus on our nutrition. We need to focus on moving our bodies, not just for us. Even if you're, let's say, sometimes I love gaming. I will play and set a timer. I don't want to say her name, but my little device to set a timer. And once that goes off, I get up and I walk around. I have a little, not walking pad, but a little workout thing. I get on it for a couple minutes. You need to be moving your body, especially, we want to say social media has an effect on us, and I'm sure it has an effect on us mentally, but I also think it has a bigger effect on us because we are sitting down more, watching screens more. And I know you're watching this video, but you can still watch positive things. I love having background noise, all that stuff. But we need to be moving our bodies more, and we need to be cautious of what we are putting in our bodies. Our bodies is a temple. And I'm trying to get back to that. I'm trying to bring my light back into myself. I realized that I have kind of lost myself throughout the past year and a half, 2 years. I'm just trying to get back to a sweet spot, and I hope that you're here on this journey with me, and we can all be on a journey of self-improvement. There's nothing wrong with it. Even if you slip up a day, you can go right back on the drain the next day. So that is what we're doing. And I know the holidays are coming up. You might think, oh, I don't want to start now. The holidays, bestie. The holidays are 3 days. We have Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. So even if you go all out and you drink and you eat all you want on those days, you can still be good the rest. Even if you have leftovers the next day, that's 6 days out of 2 months? I'm holding your hand when I say this, bestie. You can start now. Even if you cheat those 6 days, you can start now. And also a tip, the holidays are coming. People are going to be drinking. Nothing wrong with that. I'm slowly trying to stop drinking altogether. It's a little difficult considering I'm a midnight ballerina, but I've done it before and I can do it again where I don't drink at all. But here's a tip. What I drink, since I'm on a calorie deficit, shot of Tito's is only 27 calories. And if you need a back to that, I do a Diet Coke back, 0 calories. So you're taking a shot, 27 calories with a Diet Coke back. And I know you're going to say, I don't like Diet Coke. I don't like the juices with low sugar. You just have to get used to the taste. Same with veggies. The only veggie that I'm not a biggest fan of is broccoli and cauliflower. Cauliflower, I really can't do it all. But even broccoli, I still eat broccoli. Okay, we're adults. Veggies is an acquired taste. You just got to eat it. They don't really have much of a taste, if we're being honest. You just got to eat them. Fruit, get your fruit in. And also be mindful because some fruit is higher calories and higher sugar. So let's be mindful of that. But I'm not on the team of, oh no, you can't have fruit because it's sugar. That is not artificial sugar. It is natural sugar. One of the best fruits I'd recommend though is berries. Berries are great for you. They have antioxidants. It's going to be good for your skin. It's good for your body. There's tons of research on berries being good for you. I love, one of my favorite breakfasts is a yogurt bowl. I love me a nice yogurt bowl. I get my frozen fruit and I put it in the fridge the night before on a bowl. The ones that I'm going to put in my yogurt bowl, so they're defrosted. And I put my yogurt and my granola with my pumpkin seeds, my bee pollen, all that in there. And it's delicious. I use kefir drinkable yogurt because that's good for your gut. And honestly, when I have that breakfast, I feel so good and my stomach feels so good and I'm not bloated. So this video is a little longer than I expected, but I just wanted to share my weight loss journey, and if it inspires somebody, and maybe I'll do more videos on my tips and my meal prep. I posted a couple shorts on here on stuff that I have made, but let's be on a journey to just improve ourselves, bestie, because in this crazy world, we can still focus on our own lives, and maybe it'll help with, stress and anxiety if we're feeding into ourselves and pouring into our own cup. And that's not selfish. We need to be if we are our best selves, we can help those around us even more. and we might even be able to contribute to our communities even more if you wake up in the morning and you feel your best. And one thing that you got to do is that you just got to show up. You know, it's okay to suck. It's not okay to quit. So that's a saying that I've learned. And even if you do quit for a day, you can try again. And this is what I'm going to end on. It's okay to suck. It's not okay to quit. Okay, so if you wake up and you're really not into it, but you still need to move your body, go for a 5-minute, 10-minute walk. It's not the most movement, but again, it's okay to suck. It's not okay to quit. If you did not have, you ordered food and you didn't have the best food day, well, bestie, think about how you, like, okay, I ordered out, I ordered this fast food, it's greasy, it's whatever. Let me have a little bit of fruit for dessert, just to help my stomach digest this food that is processed, whatever, or let me have a tea to, debloat and all that. And honestly, the more that you avoid those foods and those sugary desserts and the artificial stuff, when you do have it, it's not going to taste as good. I've noticed, and I haven't been on this journey that long, and I've noticed. Okay, and you're gonna start loving more cooking. You gotta save recipes, plan, see how long something's gonna take you. And I know we have this big social media where it's like, don't eat this, don't eat that. Just do what's right for you and your body. And if you need to get pre-cut fruit that's in a plastic container and people want to talk about plastic, this and that, guess what? It's better for you to get that pre-cut food, those pre-cut veggies that you're going to put in your meal, than to order food because you're just so overwhelmed on what to make and you don't want to cut all these veggies because you don't have the time. Okay, we're just being real. You got to do what's best for you in that day and your energy levels. And like I said, it is okay to suck. It is not okay to quit. You have to commit to yourself the same way that you would commit to your job because you have to show up, because you have to get paid. You got to commit to yourself the same way. You got to clock in. And it's time to clock in, besties. That's all I got for you today on my journey. I do want to talk about also on how I plan to be by myself financially, physically, as in beauty wise, and also, just healthy, get my dream body, all that, which we kind of talked about today, mentally and spiritually. So watch out for those videos. Thank you for anybody watching this. I'm starting my social media journey on YouTube, and I appreciate anybody if anybody sees this. So bye.